Hello everybody and welcome to Hard Hat Gaming. Today we are going to be talking about my favorite show right now, My Hero Academia, and specifically about the character Bakugo. So if you want to hear about what I think the plot has in store for him and in regards to his fate, stay tuned. Alright guys, I'm just going to get right to it. I believe Bakugo's going to die. And the reason for that is because he needs to be a stepping stone for Deku in order to propel himself to that next level, to be able to use one for all at 100% power. And you know, their relationship has always been complicated. It's always been volatile and hard, mostly because of Bakugo, but also because Deku's not able to put his foot down and be stern with him until later seasons. But as the show progresses and they have more experience together and they fight the villains together, the relationship starts to change. And at the end of season 3, they actually have a brawl and a little bit of like a bro out where they just vent their feelings with each other. And All Might steps in, and then finally their relationship kind of transitions into like a healthy rivalry where Deku finally realizes that Kachan is someone who he needs to surpass at all costs, and Bakugo realizes that Deku is actually an equal, and he needs to treat him as such. Now, in season 4, like moving on, right? I think we're going to be able to see some really cool, almost like team development between Bakugo and Midoriya. I think we're going to be able to see them work together, come together, use their quirks in a manner that we've never seen before, and they're going to be able to kick some ass, just become a duo of just badassery. And I think it's going to be really cool to see. However, the show is also going to take a much darker turn. And the reason for that is because it keeps getting darker and darker as each encounter with the villains goes down. We have the beginning fight of the USJ. All Might loses pretty much half his power. He goes from being able to use 3 hours of One for All to only 50 minutes. And then we have the fight with Stain. Ida loses mobility in his arm and he loses some feeling in his fingers. Midoriya, throughout all of that, has to be careful with his arms because if he keeps overdoing it, he's not able to move them anymore. The camp, Bakugo gets caught. Immediately after Bakugo gets caught, he has to be saved by All Might and the rest of the pro heroes. And when that happens, All for One comes out and All Might almost loses, wins barely, but then loses his power and he's not able to be the symbol of peace anymore. So that was weighing on Bakugo's mind the entire time. So these heroes, these students that we are, learning to love and watching grow are actually starting to have some real issues. Like the world and their experiences are starting to affect them positively and negatively. So it's going to be really interesting to see as the season goes on how they change, and specifically Bakugo, because he's always been a hard-headed kind of a-hole, just only does what he wants to do, doesn't care about anybody else, and just does what he does even at the risk of himself, making himself look stupid, and at the risk of others, right? Let's skip ahead to the final fights because we all know where this is going. Deku is going to have to assume the symbol of peace. He's going to have to replace All Might, and he's going to have to beat All for One. And I think when that happens, I think when that fight scene finally gets here, I don't think Deku is going to be ready. I think that he's only going to be able to use between 70 and 80% of his power, and they're going to have pro heroes. They're going to have, probably the rest of Class A because they're always together, right? And I think that Deku is going to be fighting All for One, and he's going to mess up, and he's going to get that edge over him, and he's going to, hit him with a final blow, like a killing blow. But I think at that last second, Bakugo's going to be there, and he's going to blast off with like a full power blast and blast himself right in front of the hit. And I think he's going to take that hit for Deku. And I think at that moment, when Deku sees that this rival, this person who he has always looked up to, this person that strived with all of his being to be the number one top hero, sacrificing himself because he believes that Deku is the answer to peace. I think that will be the moment where Deku finally understands and assumes that role. And it's going to be such a huge character development point. And that's when he's going to be able to use 100% of One For All, and he is going to completely replace All Might. And he's going to take that power, even surpass him. And he's going to be able to beat All For One. And I think it's going to go a little something like this.
This brat has done nothing but cause us trouble. You have made a great asset to our team, but you decided to sacrifice yourself as a lowly runt. Now be gone! Damn it! Gachan, why did you... Shut it, you damn nerd. All that power, and you still couldn't beat him. You're pathetic, and yet... No, stop talking. You need to save your energy. Here, let me get you too. And I thought I told you to shut up! Listen, let's not sugarcoat this. I'm not gonna make it. So listen to me, Deku. All this time I could never figure out why I was so angry with you. This wimpy, quirkless kid that couldn't do anything right. Always following me around like a leech that I couldn't rip off. And then, when I fell, you came down and asked if I needed help. And after that, you continued to follow me and offer aid at every turn. With that sludge villain, with the actual League of Villains, when they captured me, every time I fell, you were there to help me back up. Just like him. Just like All Might. Except there was nothing special about you. But I finally realized there was something special about you. You were more like him than I could ever hope to be. And without even trying, it pissed me off so bad. And the person I looked up to the most in the world, the person I wanted to beat more than anything, was more like you than I was. Gachan, please stop talking. But you see, Midoriya, I've realized it now. What pissed me off the most is that I knew that the person to save the world wasn't ever going to be me. It was always you, and I want you to remember this as you live and thrive, that the one that saved you, the one that offered you help, and to keep you going in the end, was me. Remember that in the end, I helped you. Gachan, I swear that I won't fail you ever again. Thank you. For everything. One for all, full calling. 100%!
Alright guys, so that's just kind of how I think the story's going to go. Personally, that's what makes sense to me. I think that Deku's going to need some type of push to make him really like take over for All Might completely. He's going to need a character development, and I think that's what it's going to be. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? What do you guys think? How do you think the story's going to go? I want to know. Let's have a little comment battle. I'll reply to you, you reply to me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great and wonderful day. Thank you.